Live.
Impediment Mike. Let's go. That's how we do it. That's how we're opening this up. Welcome to the UFC predictions. Agartha music. UFC Seattle predictions live edition. Yeah, we just watched Adesanya get fucked up. We're gonna get to that. Another fight to get into. Obviously, that's probably one of the bigger things you're here to hear. That or listen to Mike rage about Giannis, one of the two, or both. So I'm sure we'll get to all of that. I mean, the early prelim opener, I don't even think we really need to spend that much time on it. It was a rematch,
Really
which I didn't even know. Tony told me that's the one loss on Tainara's record is a loss to Bruna Brazil earlier in her career, and she got that back. So
she more looks or less like Vinicius Jr.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if you look at her
Vinicius Jr.
her UFC rankings picture, you are not far off. Like she looks like. I mean, she looked like Lance Gibson Jr. in that photo. Like, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, not a whole lot to talk about there. Tainara won. It was mostly lay and pray. Pretty dominant decision. She's a pretty good contender.
Anyways, we don't need to talk about that. We need to talk about we need to address the elephant in the fucking room here.
I picked Ricky Simone, and I was saved because he should have lost, and it was a draw. But that being said, I will let Mike, rule the roost on this one. But despite me picking Ricky, I actually did have Giannis winning pretty handedly, maybe even 30-27. The scorecards were wrong in every other way. They could have been wrong. Third wasn't even a 10-8.
Yeah, I agree with everything that Alex said. Honestly, I raged about it too much. I'm not going to go too ape shit about it. It was horrible. Honestly, one of the worst rivalries that we've seen so far this year. I don't know how you can give 2 rounds to Ricky Simone, honestly. I honestly can't see it. His face was getting punched up with them jabs the whole fight. I don't hate Ricky. This is not a personal attack. This ain't anything to shit on him. I still fuck with Ricky Simone. It's not his fault that the judges are smoking crack in that fight. I don't know how you could give this motherfucker 2 rounds while Adrian is – I mean, you could give him the second round. I wasn't mad about them giving him the second round. You could argue, okay, he got Adrian down. We can award that because we haven't really seen Adrian on his ass before. We haven't seen him get taken down like that. So I don't mind him giving that round. But even that round, he was getting punched up. Adrian looked really good. I liked how he did. That 80+% takedown defense is looking like it's aged. It's gonna go higher soon. Who knows? I thought it was a phenomenal performance. He kind of showed me. Tony might even like this reference. He kind of showed me an esque Michael Morales move where he was just fucking crouching and just jabbing him up the whole time. He was getting into Ricky's face. Stuffing the takedowns, just circling too. Honestly, that was what was messing Ricky up too. He was circling a lot. Adrian would circle up. He would play the bull and the matador the whole time. He would just jab him, move out the way, jab him, body shot. I did predict a second round body shot TKO. I damn near got. He damn near finished him in the third. Adrian, if you're watching this, bro, please throw more body shots. I think you can do it. His body shots were phenomenal in that fight. It's just he don't throw them as much. He only throws them when he's hurting somebody. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. He didn't get his hands raised, but everybody's counting it as a win. Even Ricky Simone, shout out to him for even accepting it as a loss. Normally people would just cope with the fact that he won the fight because it's a draw and shit, but no, he took that shit like a champ. But yeah, Adrian Yanez won in my opinion, but I think everybody also agrees. But I'm not gonna have this whole rant about me because Adrian's my boy and stuff like that. We'll get other thoughts. Tony.
Yeah, I felt robbery. I don't mind the term. I don't hate it because I felt like he won the fight. I felt like I got that a perfect prediction. I had Giannis by decision. I thought round one was a toss-up, but I thought Yanez landed the better shots in round one. Round two, I felt like Simone did enough with the grappling to edge the round. Round three clearly is Yanez, and if there's 10 more seconds, it's a third round TKO for Yanez. I thought like the third round is arguably like the clearest round of the fight, hence the knockdown in the final 10 seconds. I thought Yanez did my prediction and more. I felt like he would have shown improvements from his time away from the UFC. I thought he did do that. I thought his range management was good. I thought his footwork was better. He was still getting hit with some check hooks and some things, but his defense, in comparison to past fights, was like very much like improved. He was getting hit fairly consistently against like Tony Kelly. He was getting hit less against like Ricky Simon, against a higher level. So I did like seeing that as improvements. But yeah, I felt like he won the fight. It's hard for me to say draw when you look at Ricky Simone's face walking away from that fight. The damage clearly to me does not indicate a draw. I do not think equal damage was there. I think I know for sure one judge had 2018 going into round three. Like they had Simone up 2 rounds. That's crazy. But yeah, I felt like Ricky didn't win that fight. I thought Yanez won that fight. I didn't think that should have been a draw. I thought that should have been a Yanez 29-28 for round 1, round 3 Yanez. But good fight. I think I first draw of 2026.
Your audio is starting to sound a bit shitty, Tony.
My bad.
No, you're good. But yeah, I mean, I think we all have a relatively unanimous agreement when it comes to how this fight should have played out, no matter who we picked. But as far as like matchups for Yanez going forward, I know we all mentioned Garbrandt. Garbrandt is what we'd call a scared man retard. You know, he's not the same. Like I'd honestly take Tar to Cody over the current Cody we're getting. You know what I mean? I'd rather Cody wing hooks in the pocket like a Tar than just back up the whole time. So I think Yanez does him in pretty easy. He, in my opinion, he did improve despite him, it being a draw. But, he should have won that fight. He looked more measured. His takedown defense got tested, I feel like, for the first time, and it held up. His get-ups held up. So props to Yanez for what probably should have been a win. What should have been a win. But, yeah. You guys want to say anything else about this fight, or you guys want to talk about the next one?
I think we broke it down. The fight was a robbery. I think the next fight, as Alex alluded to, I think we should do him versus Cody for Cody Garbrandt. I think it should be the next fight. And who doesn't want to see that fight? Like, I think it's 2 entertaining boxers going at it. But honestly, I don't know if Cody would want to take that, to be honest with you, because how Yanez looked in that fight, his defense looked phenomenal. That Safe Sayoud's in his corner, he helped him out a little bit with that, and also the whatchamacallit, the performance how he did where he was just with Joshua Van's camp like that. I think that's also what came into par. Like I thought this was the best Yanez we saw in a minute. But yeah, I think that should be the next fight. I think they should do him versus Cody. Unless if I don't know, Adrian, bro, I don't know what you've done to the UFC to give you these hard matchups and barely book you, but like, damn, whatever you're doing, don't stop fucking with him.
Yeah, he seemed to take not too much damage in this fight, so I'd like to see him in there relatively soon, in a couple months or so. Just stay active. Honestly, why not throw him back in the Apex, his home?
I think he lost to fucking what's his name?
Martinez.
Yeah, but that ain't a bad loss.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like I feel
honestly,
like Yanez is a good main card fight on an Apex card.
Yeah, this fight should have been on the main card. It was a great fight. I mean, despite the outcome, it was a pretty good fight. And they both put on scraps, Ricky Simone included. Like Ricky is always in a war with these fights. Like I like both fighters. Like they both had an entertaining scrap, and they pretty much showed that they should have been on the main card. I can name like 2 fights that shouldn't have even been on there. But yeah, I don't know where Tony is, but I think we can move on. I think he already said his piece. What was the next
Navajo
last fight after?
Bruno Lopez.
Dude,
Yeah,
Navajo Sterling.
He got a finish finally.
Yeah, he's a fucking beast, dude. Like I fuck with Navajo Sterling. I even said it after the I even said it on the YouTube channel. I think he's like my favorite CKB fighter. He's like he's seen some shit there, man. Let's be honest. Like he's probably seen some shit in that CKB gym, but you know, dude's flawless, man. I thought this was a phenomenal performance. Takedown defense looked phenomenal. His everything looked great. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he like we were talking about, like there's a moment when these fighters become men from becoming like kids pretty much, and they start finally getting finishes, and I use Ian Gary as a good example of that. I think, you know, now that he's got his first finish, we're going to be able to see a more evolved Navajo going forward against, you know, who will probably still be relatively can-fed bums. I think they're going to give him easier fights. You know, they're going to more or less give him the Ateba treatment. But to be fair to him, every opponent he's faced has had an ability to grapple. So that's something, you know. Adesanya didn't face that many grapplers coming up outside of like a Brunson and a Vittori, you know. So we can kind of see that right away. His takedown defense is kind of being forced to be built up right away to defend these takedowns to make sure he doesn't get fraud checked by some bum who gets a takedown and goes for, you know, a choke and gets it because you have no grappling. So it's good that Navajo's shown that he can survive those moments and just mitigate them altogether. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think he survived phenomenally. His wrestling. I shouldn't say survived like he was getting his ass whooped. It was far from the how the fight was going. Like it was one-sided damn near the whole fight. He was picking him apart on the feet, defending the takedowns phenomenally. Like I thought his takedown defense looked subpar to fucking what's his face. Look, it looked a lot better than fucking what we'll get to Adesanya in a minute, but how come a prospect like Navajo Sterling is showing better takedown defense than fucking Israel Adesanya? Like that's fucking crazy. And Izzy's supposed to have the more experience out of the whole like CKB group, but you know. Regardless of all that, I think, like I said, I think I've said a lot about Navajo. I don't want to make this a whole glaze for Navajo Sterling. I thought he looked phenomenal. Next fight for him, I think, honestly, light heavyweight is so shit, dude. I think they should just give him a top 15 opponent. Like, I'd like him to go against a Dustin Jacoby. I think that would be a good test for him. Or get Alonzo Menafield out of there, like do one of those fights. I think that's a good little test for him. Light heavyweight is so bad, bro. I think you could just step him up already to light heavyweight, to top 15. You don't have to like drastically put him in with dangerous opponents. But if you don't want to do if you want to keep him at unranked, I guess you could do like he could do the Jimmy Crute test, dude. Like, why not? Do the Jimmy Crute test. See if you can't go to a draw with this fucker. See if you can finish him or something. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But I think light heavyweight's so bad, you should just give him into a ranked opponent. I think he's ready.
Indeed.
Yeah, you could make the legitimate case. He's like trajectory-wise, he's like the best thing in city kickboxing.
At 205?
In general. Think about it. Israel, Dan Hooker, Icon France, kind of trending towards the line, if anything. Not upward.
Yeah. All of them are down.
Like,
and Volk isn't technically PKB.
Yeah, he's a freestyle. And
yeah.
Like Joe Lopez. Pure city kickboxing personnel, you could make the case trajectory-wise, he's the highest.
Yep.
Agreed.
He's like
Yep.
the all in on that crew right now.
I don't hate that take at all.
He's the only one with momentum.
He's a specimen of an athlete. That's his first knockout, I want to say, at a UFC level, if I'm not mistaken. He's been a lot of decisions prior to that. He seems to check the boxes technically. It's just a matter of can he get these, like separating margins, these knockout performances. But he's pretty good. He's pretty solid. He's not gonna force the knockout. He's only gonna get it like that tonight because it presented itself, so to speak. Whereas Tuco Tacos was back to that the entire time. Like he didn't want to really get hit with anything hard. Other guys have tried to grapple to mitigate his pressure and his ability to strike. But he's solid. Navajo Sterling is a solid prospect in 205. And either way, if you want to push him up with the top 15 matchup, or you want to spoon feed him, he seems pretty competent.
Yeah, I think, more or less, I feel like he can move into a ranked position now. I kind of want to continue to can feed him a little bit because he hasn't faced anybody really that good. Like, where's Ibo Aslan's punk ass at? Like, he's a dangerous guy. He's not good, but he's dangerous. So, and I think he would be the most dangerous guy he fought up to this point. Power in his hands will, go for it early. I feel like that's something that could happen. Like, throw that on the Perth card. I want to see Navajo Sterling return on the Perth card. That's a big point I want to make. No matter who it's against, just show up in Perth. Like, stay active. We just saw your first KO. I'm trying to see another. So.
Well, I was tripping, but I forgot about Carlos Ulberg. But even still,
yeah,
I reckon Navajo Sterling, he's just off sheer youth. He's a more promising trajectory. Whereas this is it, Ulberg, this is your chance. This is the belt opportunity is coming in a week's time or something at 327. So I did completely just disrespect Ulberg by not even remembering him, but I still think even if he wins, do 34, 35, he's 20 something. He's got more time. So yeah.
He does. Navajo, I think, is at a better.
Spoiler alert, I got Yuri beating Ulberg. Spoiler alert, but yeah.
Yeah, of course. But I think at this current point in Navajo's career, he is better than Ulberg was at this point in his career.
100%.
So I think we can expect by the time he's at the place in Ulberg's career that Ulberg's in, he's going to be even better than Ulberg is.
This form of Sterling beats that form of Kennedy that beat Ulberg, that form of Ulberg.
100%. I think this version of Sterling beats any version of Kennedy. Because what was the problem with Ulberg? He threw too much, gassed out like a tard. Sterling's not doing that.
Right. He manages himself. He's just very technical. But yeah.
He would rather stink it up than do that. You know? So, I mean, it would make it for a slightly more...
Oh, shit.
Same time, you got
it's crazy that we're recapping this fight because Ian Cutelaba just said that big win tonight. Respect Navajo Sterling. You called me out. I'm here. I accept. Now let's give the fans the war they're waiting for at UFC.
Oh shit.
So I guess do that fight.
Yeah, why not? I mean, if Cutelaba, I'm sure Cutelaba's down to go to Perth. I mean, why not? Perth, Cutelaba versus
Cutelaba's a dog.
Navajo Sterling. I mean, that's perfect. I think that's a great fight.
That is a great fight.
I think that's perfect for the Perth card too. That could be a main card fight, honestly. Cutelaba isn't super high ranked, but he's a known name. Like if you've been in the UFC sphere for the last 5 years, you probably heard the name Ian Cutelaba. Whether it's him getting highlights or getting highlighted, you know of him. So.
Especially off the Magomed beef. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's the thing that makes everybody know him. The whole
blew him up.
And the playing possum and all that. And 100%. The rematch.
There's lore to that. There's lore to that shit. That's history.
And you find Ian Cutelaba randomly in other people's lore too, like a Sambo match against Azamat versus Khanov and so on. So.
He had a good fight with Glover on that when Glover was on that run.
Yeah. I mean, Cutelaba is a good fighter, no matter what his career has looked like in some moments. When he's on his best day, he really is an excellent fighter.
An elite first-round fighter, too. Very dangerous.
I want to say he beat Khalil Roundtree, too.
I think so.
I think you're right.
I think you are right about that.
That's crazy.
He got Aura Farm walked down by Cannoneer, though. That was a bad one.
He's gotten better in old age, too. Like, he's fighting smarter now.
Yeah. And his grappling is really his strong suit. And I feel like he's starting to realize that more rather than just trying to slug it out.
He has great takedowns. Great takedowns.
He does.
Phenomenal.
He's stronger than, like, you would expect for him to be, I feel like. Like, he's got some real, like, short man strength.
I think overall athletic, especially in that first round, his burst, his explosion, like his intensity is crazy.
But yeah, as far as that fight, I think that's great. Navajo Sterling certainly going to be ranked at some point, but I guess the real question is what is his ceiling? Is it a champion? Is it top 5, top 10? What do you guys think? If I were to say, I'd say top
His
5.
future?
I think I could see him challenging for a belt. Maybe winning, depending on who's in the division, but I don't see him right now as a future champ. I think these guys are too aggressive, too powerful, too well rounded for these two guys.
That's fair.
That's my issue with him. Like, I think he's really good. I think if the UFC continues to, like, I know I said put him in the rankings, but, like, I would like him to, like, get slow balled to the rankings, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Like if he does get a ranked opponent, give him like I said, a Dustin Jacoby, Alonzo Menafield, somebody that's low of ranked that'll get him there, but like let him like progressively like get improved, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not mad if they do keep him fighting unranked fighters, because they'll help his experience out. And we'll see if there's any like red flags in him. But so far, no red flags at all. He's been pretty good. I don't know if I'd say he's champion yet. I want to say he could be a champion soon. But I think he needs to pass some tests for me to say that he'll be a champion. To be honest with you, I want to see that. Him and Yuri in the future would be fucking phenomenal, though. Like, it would be a war. And that's why I want to see like how his mental toughness is, because can he keep a composure and be calm and collected when a Yuri Prohaska is not giving a single F and just eating all your punches, pressuring you, and just like, let's go for that, and just starts throwing crazy shit at you? Like, can he keep that confidence up and stuff, and by just moving forward, picking you apart at range and stuff, setting up the knockout blows potentially? Like, I would like to see a potential test for Navajo first, but so far, I definitely see him being a ranked fighter, but champion we'll have to see soon.
Yeah, he's got time.
I don't think he's going to be champion because, like, right now, if he fight Volkan Ozdemir, I think I have to play Volkan on principle.
Yeah, I hear you.
I think that's a tough fight for him. Rakic, his string right now, that's a more winnable fight. But even then, I think that's a tough fight. Like, that's a guy that can kickbox. That's a guy who's been there against, like, Yuri, Magomed, tough guys. I don't think he would necessarily be a home run against everybody. I think there are people in the top 10 that he could beat. But Jan at 42 still looks pretty good. I do think he has the potential to be better than Oldberg. I will say that. I do think he'll definitely be better than Oldberg. I think Yuri's going to beat Oldberg, though. So I reckon he could be like his ceiling, like a top 5 guy.
Yeah, and historically, light heavyweight has been dominated by strikers in recent memory, at least. At least in like the 2020s. Before that, it was John Jones and DC.
Right. Post them, it seems to be like the more athletic striker. There was that little Glover Teixeira window, but for the most part, Jan and Strike Yuri and Jamal Hill and Alex, predominantly post Jones and DC era. Outside of that 1 year with Glover,
it's been strikers.
100%.
So I mean, I don't see a very strong wrestler on the come up at light heavyweight really either. So I mean, I do think there's a very just based on that, maybe Navajo could get to the belts with 5 years from now. Or something.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's very there's a potential for it for sure.
But we gotta keep an eye on him and make sure he continues to sauce up because, like we said earlier, at some point in his career, Bruno Lopez is going to be a guy he finishes in under a minute, and that's what I need to see. You know what I mean? To be able to look back, if he faced Bruno Silva now, he'd fucking kill him quick as hell, early. So,
I think he beats guys in the top 10, but there's a couple that I'm I don't know right now. Vulcan's one. I think people are sleeping on how good Vulcan is.
Yeah, I mean, I got a fear for him against, the top 5 right now. They're just straight up more experienced, even against an Olberg, who I think he is going to be better than right now. If they fought, I'd have to go Olberg just based on level of competition, and that's not saying, Ankalaev, obviously, Yuri. I think he could come up and maybe beat a Jamal Hill or somebody like that, just being more technical on the outside.
That's winnable. Khalil's winnable, shit like that. That in the top 10, those are fights he could win, but those other guys, I don't know.
Yeah, and even then, I want to see him take some time. If he goes out there and he gets pushed too fast and gets fucking left hook just chinned by Volkan Ozdemir, he's done.
Guskov could be a tough fight for him.
It could be. Right now, it could be. That's you got to be careful with this dude. You got the white Adesanya pretty much. So they really cloned him in the lab. It looks exactly like Adesanya. So,
but yeah, he's definitely one to look out for. But yeah, enough of him. We got other guys to talk about.
Moving on to our next fight of the card, Tony, your girl, Casey O'Neill, hit him with the. Got a TKO round. Hit him with the tennis noises.
It's that Gabriela Fernandez pack, but yeah, I'm very proud of her. I was the only person that believed her on this podcast. As Mike and Alex will tell you, I've been a day one Casey fan in the UFC. I like Casey O'Neill. I think she's not a bad fighter. She just had a couple of speed bumps. She lost to Jennifer Maia, who even I'll make fun of. I'll call sometimes Lunch Lady Maia. I feel like she's a bit of a journeyman. But still, a girl who's been around the block. She had a round of top time on Shevchenko in a title fight, just a vet. And then the Ariane Lipski one. The Ariane Lipski one was rough. She lost that fight clearly. But, I just watched PFL Pittsburgh a couple hours ago, and Ariane Lipski was fantastic in that fight. Same day Casey O'Neill wins, Ariane Lipski wins. So I think that's a testament to how both good fighters are. But Casey fucking impressed me today, boy. I picked her by decision. I thought we were going to see an MMA, just a mix of wrestling and striking and a combination. I witnessed massive improvements on her. She got a fucking first round knockout. I think she threw a head kick. I'm so impressed with Casey. I'm so happy for her. I love Casey.
My first reaction was, Casey O'Neill has hands now?
I've been saying it. I said she looked like Sean Strickland in that Luana Santos fight. I'm saying it, bro.
Jesus Christ.
I'd have to watch it again.
She wowed me.
I mean, yeah, today she looked fucking crazy. I did not expect her to put combos together like that.
Good.
I was actually watching, I was like, you know what? Just the way Gabriela Fernandez is throwing, it's just straight up more manly than Casey. And Casey proceeds to just fucking flower power her way to a TKO. Feminine women sometimes, I guess.
She's the counter. So most of the Nixick fighters are regressing. She's the one that's improving.
Mansour Abdul Malik, another Nixick fighter.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Turns them into sparring machines.
Those last two wins though, man. The Luana Santos fight. Luana was never a flyweight. She's always been a bantamweight, but even still, that's a good win. And then Fernandez was on a 3-fight win streak where she beat Judice and she beat Conway going into this matchup. So I was just wowed by Casey. I really think she's an elite contender at a flyweight. Shit. And after a result that followed later on in the card that we'll get to, I think her chances against certain matchups in the higher rankings are now more winnable than perceived going into this fight, especially one result that we'll definitely get into later. That was insane.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Casey, when she came into the UFC, and I feel like the reason you like her so much is when she had her original run, she was a finisher. she was getting bitches out of there. She was having brutal like chokes, like where she was sleeping bitches with chokes and like having finishes. And I feel like this Extreme Couture Nixick stuff, after she started getting associated with them, she turned into this pitter-pat, strike at range girl. And, you know, we kind of lost a couple fights. But now I feel like she's finally getting back to the fighter she actually is, which is a finisher. So I think that's huge for her. You know, it's all nice to have this technique from Nixick, but you got to fight the way you need to fight. And Casey needs to fight aggressive. She needs to look for finishes. And we saw that today. And I did not expect it to happen on the feet like that. So, not in the first round either. That was fucking crazy. So, shout out to Casey. I'm going to pick her going forward against people.
Mike and Alex will tell you that, like, there's been two fighters at flyweight that I always have my eye on, like at least like the last 4 or 5 years. It was Manon Fiorot and Casey O'Neill. And like those have always been the two. Like I've picked them in pretty much every fight in their UFC career, even like in the Shevchenko fight with Fiorot. But Casey's really improving, man. Very impressed with what I'm saying. Very happy to see what I'm doing.
Yeah, I ain't really got anything much to say about it. She had a phenomenal performance. I can't lie to you. I know I've been a Casey O'Neill hater from the get-go, but like I can't really say anything negative. She looked really good. She like striking looked phenomenal. Her boxing was phenomenal. She did. She had some pretty good moments. I can't lie to you. Shout out to her. Next fight for her, I don't know what they should give her. I think they should give her a top 10 opponent. Either if it's Tracy Cortez or shit. I wouldn't even mind her going again. Let me see the ranking real quick. Let me see if I want to give her this fight.
The only fight that gives me hesitancy right now, I'm biased though. I'm a Casey O'Neill fan, but I'm biased. But the only fights that make me think twice is like obviously the champ, Shevchenko, Aya Silva. After a result that we'll get to, the winner of a fight that happened later on in the card, and I feel like it's fair play. I think it's a close fight with her and Rose right now. Hot take. I think I'd pick her over Cortez. I don't know. Hot take. I'd pick her over Blanchfield. I just compared to a lot of people. I would take Casey over on Blanchfield.
Barber versus O'Neill. Who you got?
Well, spoiler, we got that'll be an event later, but yeah. Before this fight, I could see the edge toward Barber, but now after events that have transpired on this card, it's a 50-50 fight. Casey's been knocked out of the regionals, and she's been subbed in the UFC, and she's lost the decision. I think Casey's really good. I think her grappling could get the edge in that fight. And her striking's looked improved. I don't know about Barber's durability. I have to kind of lean Casey's durability more. So I gotta go Casey.
Yeah, I'd probably pick Casey. The only people I'd pick against Casey is Grasso or Valentina or Manon. One of the I think the big names beat her. Like I don't see her going that high, but Blanchfield could be a 50-50 fight, mainly because Blanchfield's striking has been proven to be god awful, but like if she gets you down, she gets you down and it's wraps, but we'll have to see how that fight goes. Honestly, yeah, but she's getting subbed by Lipsky and shit. Like
she wasn't getting tagged in the feet though. Like she was getting hurt in the feet though.
Yeah, that is true.
And Lipsky, we just watched it. Like I know it's PFL, but like Lipsky to Blanchfield, dude. I know she's got a 17-11 record. Y'all will, if you watch the tape, you'll see for yourself. Striking wise, is way better than fucking Blanchfield.
Indeed,
way better.
Yeah, I think Field's an interesting fight down the line. For our next fight, I like Tracy. I like Miranda Maverick.
Yeah,
fights like that I think are very winnable.
She's 12, so yeah, she should move like 2-3 spots max. So she shouldn't go for anything too crazy. I like the way they're building her up.
Agreed. All right, ready to move on to our next fight.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to our next fight. This is an interesting one. Tyrell Fortune versus Marcin Tybura. Now, yeah, I mean, if y'all watched live, there was 2 winners. I think it was an error on Bruce Buffer's behalf, actually. He came out, he's like, I'm sorry, everybody. He apologized, like, I made a mistake, but yeah, pretty much. Tyrell Fortune was like halfway out of the arena, and they pan the camera to him. He's like fucking storming back in. And I'm like, oh fuck, what's going on? Is he throwing hands with the judges? Because I think we all thought Tyrell Fortune rightfully won, and no, they just brought him back in the cage, and Tybura was just sitting there in the middle, like looking confused and Polish. Like, and the judges just pretty much take the win away that they just gave him. Well, sorry, but you didn't win. Like, yeah. I mean, but outside of the decision, which was very funny, Tyrell Fortune had a great first round. He pretty much fucking slam dunked Tybura on his head and started ground and pounding him, and that was by far the most entertaining part of this fight. Tybura had moments with the output, but Tyrell Fortune just stayed landing the better shots. And being the better wrestler and landing more control time. So I made a lot of parts of it was like a heavyweight slop fest, but it was, in my opinion, more or less a clear win to Tyrell Fortune, who's going to be a fade going forward to some of these people. But he's ranked now. So,
yeah.
Your newest ranked heavyweight from Bellator, who went 3-0 on this card. Bellator went 3-0. When has this ever happened?
Never happened in its life. It's like, I don't even think it's a promotion anymore. Now it's like,
yeah,
it got sucked in from being like potentially being a B League like UFC to now like it doesn't even fucking exist anymore. Like it's now PFL snapped them out of existence, and they don't. Honestly, I could see them going out of business soon because like they're kind of like, they're kind of like the Green Bay Packers right now. I think their fan base is what's what's controlling their company right now. Like, they don't even have. Who's fucking running PFL? Who is running the PFL right now? Like the dude, I think his name is Don Davis or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Like he stepped down as president. Who runs PFL right now? Who runs it?
I think it's like a commission of investors. I might be wrong, but I think they all like kind of have a role in it. Like these rich people are just like, I got 20% of this motherfucking company. You better put it. You better make Ngannou versus somebody. You fucking dumb motherfuckers. And now they're all just taking money out. Like, nope. PFL.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. PFL as someone who like. Mike and Alex fucking crack on me for fucking watching PFL, but like as someone who watches it,
you were watching it during the UFC card.
Motherfucker was watching that over the UFC card.
I was watching that like that more.
Just because Tony's so much of a cheapskate. He can't risk the $10 a month. Instead, you know what? I'm gonna see how PFL do.
Who literally canceled their Paramount subscription because they were not pleased with the performance the UFC is putting on right now. So, it is what it is. But besides that, the PFL is 100% a money laundering organization. 100%. You can get if you thought. We'll get to a fight later where cheating was a fucking factor, but if you think cheating is bad in the UFC, you need to go watch fucking Usman or Magomedov in a title fight against Paul Hughes and see what he can get away with if fucking the PFL.
Bro, and he popped for steroids and he's still the champion.
Yeah, this so it is 100% a money laundering organization, so they can do whatever they want. But like my whole thing is like Mike said, it very much can evaporate at any moment. Like, who the fuck is running it? So my whole thing is let's try to call fights correctly and as long as we can before they shut it down. That's how I look at it. So be part of history type shit. But I like what they're doing. I like that they go to different locations. I like that they're going to like Belfast. They're going to Belgium. I like they have different operations in different areas of the world. It's definitely lower quality and lower, overall. But I do like that they go to different places. I appreciate that as a fan of just watching fights in general. But what fight are we talking? Oh yeah, we're talking about Tyrell Fortune and Martin Tybura. Yeah, he had a great first round, and like I watched the live line. Like he was the favorite throughout the entirety of the fight, and then I step away to use the restroom. I think they're going to announce a Tyrell Fortune decision, and I see Martin Tybura won the fight 30-27. I'm like, how the fuck did he win 30-27? And then in live time, I saw on my phone it go from end of round 3 to final to Martin Tybura to then back to fucking Tyrell Fortune. I've never seen that before. They changed that shit live. That is insane. Crazy how a judge could fuck up like that, or Bruce Buffer could fuck up like that, but it happens. Tyrell Fortune won. He did proceed to get outstruck in that fight. Outstruck in that fight. That's not great. I agree with Alex. He will definitely be a fade going forward, so to speak. His wrestling looks good, but his gas tank looks sus. He's 18-3. His record's very nice looking. His last loss was against a PFL guy, Linton Vassell, who was athletic in the heavier weight classes. But if he can't get his takedowns, his striking leaves a lot to be desired. He had Martin in front of him, and he couldn't look decisively better on the feet. I find that to be an issue. An Ante DeLiha, if he's able to stuff a couple takedowns, that could be a problem. So anybody who can stuff takedowns, will probably picking potentially over Tyrell Fortune. He won the fight, but wasn't crazy performance.
Yeah, I agree. In the first round, he was looking damn near dominant. Bro, he had an NFL type of sack on Tybura. Bro, you could ask Tony. You could ask Tony and Alex. Bro was looking like Myles Garrett when he had the fucking takedown. I was calling him Myles Garrett. Bro slammed him on the ground and just started elbowing him repulsively. Dude looked like a marauder. He looked good, and then all of a sudden it just became a boring pitter-patter striking fight, and he was picking. And from moments where I was looking, to be honest, I was on my phone some of the time because there wasn't really anything. It was just literally him staring at Tybura while Tybura was just fighting life to breathe because he's so fat he can't breathe properly. It was a terrible fight. But he in the beginning he looked good, and shout out to him on getting the dub on his victory in the debut. We'll have to see how it goes. He is a future fade in the making. Honestly, I would pick Derek Lewis to knock him the fuck out. I could see Derek Lewis knocking him out, or I could see honestly, Tony and Alex can probably agree with me on this. Doesn't he smell like a Waldo Cortez Acosta victim?
Fortune? Yeah, they're friends, so they wouldn't fight. But
he was in the corner for him today.
I forgot about that.
They ran
Vitor Petrino over him.
They ran a whole promo about Waldo being his friend. They're like, oh, he's friends with Waldo. And then they showed a bunch of Waldo highlights and Waldo celebrating and shit for 2 minutes. But yeah, I would pick, if they were to fight, I agree, I'd pick Waldo. I think Waldo would beat him. I mean, honestly, I'm not ready to say Spivak doesn't win.
Hey, Josh Hockett.
Yeah.
Josh Hockett.
Better recently.
DeLiha could beat him, I think.
Yeah, I as well.
I would pick Vitor Petrino.
Vitor Petrino versus I would too.
I would pick him to beat Tyrell Fortune.
I just think the IQ on Tyrell Fortune is better though.
Yeah. He's
he knew not to put himself in dumb positions, even though I think they were both fat and gassed. He didn't overextend. But
yeah.
I think Josh Hockett kills Tyrell Fortune. That's what today told me. Josh Hockett back. Out of the two prospects, Hockett's far better than Tyrell Fortune.
Now I see why he's getting the leap of blades, especially coming off the Kuniev fight. Yeah.
And I mean,
I think Rizvan Kuniev could be a problem for Tyrell Fortune.
Yeah, I could see that too. And I mean, that Blades fight, you can argue that Kuniev should have won. And I mean, he went on to get in the rankings. And I mean, I don't think he's crazy still.
Who I think for MMA is a better grappler than Tyrell Fortune. Almeida.
Yeah, I mean, Almeida's going though.
Yeah.
Almeida is.
Aspinall is a great grappler, good submission artist. Spivak has some in his sleeve, although he's wanted to stand and bang more often. But yeah, not too many. I'll give you that. Not too many.
Pavlovich,
Trino,
I think Tyrell Fortune will get knocked out by Pavlovich too. Yeah.
I agree. If
Yeah.
Pavlovich actually started scrapping, he'd kill Tyrell Fortune.
Yeah.
It'd be like a Tai Tuivasa, Derek Lewis type of fight, like under a minute. Prime Pavlovich just hung doing war crimes against NATO. We need that Pavlovich back.
Yeah, I think we're ready to move on. I think there isn't really else to talk about Tyrell Fortune's fight. I just thought the ending was hilarious, though. But moving on, we got. Let's get a moment. Let's get a moment of silence for this one. Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper, may you rest in peace. Chase Hooper got knocked out by Lance Gibson Jr. I almost botched his name. He's so fucking bad. Like, bro, honestly, I feel so bad for Chase because he's so young. And you could see, like, the potential is there. Like, I'm not saying championship potential, but I'm saying there's potential in him being actually, like, good, or you know what I mean? But, like, he just ends up shitting the bed every time when we even see there's some little positive in his game. I don't know, man. Like, it was very disappointing to watch. His defense didn't improve at all after getting slimed out by Hernandez. Like, honestly, it was a terrible performance by Chase Hooper, and I like Chase Hooper a lot, man. It hurt me to see him get slimed out that badly. Like, when I saw him get head kicked, I was like, no. And I was trying to cope with the fact, like, hey, ref, don't stop the fight yet. Don't stop the fight yet. Let him Charles Oliveira this shit. But no, he ended up going out like 145 Charles Oliveira. Like, it was depressing to watch. I can't lie to you. I as a Chase Hooper fan, it hurts me. It hurts me to see my boy get slimed out like that, you know. But, you know, Lance Gibson, yo. Yeah. How good is Bobby Green? How good is Bobby Green? That's I guess that's what, like, the only thing that I thought about. Like, Lance Gibson's
beat Bobby Green too. And then I fucking picked him to beat Bobby Green in his debut. And they tried to rob Bobby Green for me, and he still lost. And then I pick against him here, and he does this. I'm gonna look at that for Lance Gibson.
Yeah, I'm not a. I don't know.
I like the Chase attempted 2 takedowns, but his wrestling still ain't good enough. His striking is still. I could excuse the Garcia and the Hernandez one because, like, those are knockout artists. But getting first rounded by Gibson.
Yeah.
No. I agreed with Alex when we were watching this fight together. We were watching the fight, and he even said, like, if I'm Chase Hooper, you know, Chase Hooper's young enough. I'm hoping that Chase this random ass video just goes in and Chase Hooper's algorithm. But he's young enough to take some time off, bro. Like, bro should take some time off, improve the striking, for fuck's sake. Go to Thailand, go somewhere, go to New Zealand if you need to with Izzy, have a Nigerian connection there. Have a nice little. Well, I don't even know if I want to train with Izzy after what I just saw. He looked like fucking dog shit. But we'll talk about that when we get there. But, like, you know what I mean. Like, he should take his time. He's young. He's like 26, 25 years old. I think he has the time to take some time off, especially after getting slimed out like that. Work on your striking. Get your wrestling up. Like, because he still looks like a one-dimensional jiu-jitsu guy in there. Like, his takedowns are a little sloppy still. His striking is fucking horrible. His defense is not the greatest. That's what led him to getting slimed out. Like, I think I agree with everything Alex said when we were talking about that fight. He said, if I'm Chase, I take the time off. You're young. Use your youth to as a factor to take a little inactivity off. You can afford being inactive. It's not like you're pushing 40 years old and getting chinned like this. But don't get me wrong, being young and still getting chinned is bad. But I think he has time to improve if he does what we give him this advice for. But yeah.
I agree 100%. Yeah, I think, like you said, he's young enough where he can afford to do that. I would much rather Chase Hooper takes a time off, like a year and a half off, and doesn't fight, rather than comes back, in 7 months, 8 months, and fights a Larian Douglas or somebody, because they'll probably chin him and that'll be wraps. You need to go somewhere where you can get hardcore drilling in to the shit that you need to fix. And that's striking defense above all else. And you need to get your takedowns going. Jiu-jitsu by itself does not work in MMA. And I'm sorry, but I love Wonder Boy. As Chase Hooper, you're not going to learn to strike for MMA the best from Wonder Boy. It's just a very particular style. You have no history of karate. Wonder Boy's done karate since he was pretty much birthed. This is a Wonder Boy style, and I'm sure there's some good tips you can pick. I want to see you check kicks. I want to see you with a high guard. I think I need to see you go to Thailand for Muay Thai, or go somewhere like Mexico, or maybe somewhere else and just get in there with a boxing gym and get rounds in with amateur boxers. Get humble. Get in there and get your ass whooped by a 12-year-old kid. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want for Chase Hooper. Like, all due respect, I think that's what he needs. You need to learn, okay, my jiu-jitsu shit, it's going to work if I get it there, but I have no way of getting it there. I can't be stuck on the feet with like an Alexander Hernandez and get away with it. I can't be on the feet with even a Lance Gibson and get away with it. You need to fix these things. Lance Gibson is by no means a phenomenal striker. I mean, I haven't even seen enough to call him a good one, really. I mean, who's he doing it against? Chase Hooper. I think Chase Hooper needs to fix his defense more than anything, because if Lance Gibson can do that, other people are going to be able to do that. And until you fix your defense, like I said, take that year and a half off. Otherwise, you're going to be getting chinned in a year and a half where you're staying active. Like, take your time, come back, revamped, throwing calf kicks, oblique kicks, teeps to the body, big power double legs. That's what I want to see. I want to see the Oliveira resurgence. Even Ortega had a moment where he started shooting double legs and wrestle fucking Yair. Let me see, an improvement, and let me see you get in with the team that really is going to help you succeed. I want you, in sparring a lot. I think Extreme Couture could even be good for him, just getting in rounds with different people. He needs that. He's clearly somebody that isn't great at taking a punch. Whether you can say that's chin or defense or whatever the case is, it seems like it really rattles him. I want him to get more familiar with that. If you're not going to be able to improve your takedown game, you're going to have to get comfortable staying on the feet. And that's kind of what Oliveira did for a while until he did revamp his takedown game. So I do think he needs to do both inevitably. It's just a matter of when. Is it going to be too late after he gets, chinned by Larian Douglas, or he goes in there with Bobby Green and gets fucking 1-2 down the pipe? Grant Dawson ground and pound TKOs him. You got to be careful with this dude, and him in particular needs to be careful with his own career. So I like Chase. I do think he's kind of a BMF. I don't think he I think he would accept a Larian Douglas fight in 5 months. I truly do. But yeah, he just needs to take his career easy, man. He really does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Alex and Mike said pretty much everything that needed to be said. I'm not going to be too long on this fight. Just pissed off that I picked Lance Gibson against Bobby Green and arguably got a robbery loss. And I think he lost that fight by blowout, though, to be fair. And then he just fucking first round knocks out Chase Hooper. At least Chase Hooper tried a takedown or two, but still not good enough. Yeah, he needs to improve his wrestling for sure. I think that, above striking defense, I think I'd improve the wrestling even more. Definitely striking defense needs work for 100%. Yeah, we could move on. That fight,
all right. Yeah, all right. Moving on, we have Tafik Musayev defeating Ignacio Bahamondes. Us, a part of the Baja Blast community, we are very upset with another L we took. It's very unfortunate. But, we can cope with the fact that this cheating piece of shit just cheated the whole time. Like, people aren't going to talk about it because Ignacio looked really stupid in the fight. He allowed Musayev to take him down in fights. Like, he looked purely jiu-jitsu-esque with his takedown defense. He wasn't scrambling. He wasn't doing anything like phenomenal. He was just allowing Musayev to just bitch him on the ground and stuff, and it was very frustrating to watch. And he wasn't doing anything to get back up. He was just trying to armbar him or triangle him. Like man, it was very frustrating to watch, man. Like, it was making me mad. And not only was that, but the thing that was making me mad the most was when Musayev is like headbutting, like he's clear as day headbutting him. He didn't headbutt him once. He didn't headbutt him twice. He headbutted him 3 fucking times. And then at the end of around the end of the fight in the third round, where Ignacio had the rear naked in, bro was freaking biting Ignacio's like arm so he can get out of it.
I did not see that. He fucking bit him?
Yes, I saw a Twitter clip. I want to see if I can find it. Bro was biting him.
I swear, if they gotta cut him. You did that to Igor Severino, you do that to this fucker. Because he was doing it to win, and he got away with it. That makes it worse.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it looked like a nibble. Like, it looked like a nibble.
That is egregious if it's true.
Hold up, let me find it.
You know, sometimes there's like, fingers in the mouth or something like that, and they get bit. That's somewhat forgivable, but I've seen people get 2 points taken away for shit like that, like Norello Aliev. The bite of 87. But yeah, I mean, depressing. I wanted Bahamondes to win. I thought he was going to win. I thought he was going to make easy work of Musayev. First round was pretty close, but Musayev ended the round very well. I feel like Bahamondes was probably up on strikes before that, but the end visual of the round, and I feel like the bigger shots came from Musayev in the first. In the second round, Bahamondes dropped him early, and then Musayev proceeded to cut him open with elbows and beat the fucking shit out of him for the entire rest of the second round, which made it a very weird round to score. Because in the beginning of the round, there was a knockdown in favor of Bahamondes, and the rest of the fight, it was just Musayev fucking mauling Bahamondes. So are we going to value 4 minutes of devastating ground and pound, or 1 knockdown? You know, I feel like in that scenario, when you have that much control over a fight and you're really doing a lot of damage, I actually do favor the longer periods of control and just consistent damage than 1 knockdown. I think Musayev probably ended up winning that round too, just based on the amount of control and damage he did. It wasn't just like he laid on him for 4 rounds. He was on the verge of finishing, and he was cutting him open. You know, after that round, Tafit got up and he was a little bruised, whereas Ignacio's face was a mask of blood. And then the third round, you know, more of the same, just not as high of a degree. Depressing. Rip Bahamondes. I'm not going to feel the same way about him going forward again. And, you know, Musayev looked good. I definitely think of him as a better fighter than I did before, but this guy's 36. He's not going to be anything, you know, and he's honestly selling the bag by not getting on that Azerbaijan card. Maybe he still can, but I don't know. It was depressing. That and the Chase Hooper fight and this back-to-back was depressing, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I felt like I got a lot of things right about this fight, even though I picked Bahamondes by decision. I did say I think this was going to be fight of the night. I did think this was going to be more competitive than people made it out to be. I didn't think there was going to be an easy knockout for Bahamondes. I got that right, but I was wrong in terms of Bahamondes winning a decision. I will say Musayev did cheat. He did fence grab. He did, you know, multiple things that should have led to at minimum like a point deduction at the very least. But that's besides the point. Something else that I did get right, I felt like our perception of Ignacio Bahamondes is greater than what he actually is as a fighter. I feel like the potential we see is that like he's like 6'3" at 155, rangy kickboxer, durable, doesn't really get knocked out. Like those are intangibles that look very promising in a grappler heavyweight class like 155. But he never really lives up to expectation. And I also did note that like that specific like frame and build like of a Messiah is like reminiscent of some of the losses he's had in the UFC, like a Ludovic Klein, a Rafael Fiziev, uh, John McDessie, like that short, stout build, above average striker, kind of like fighter who's been in multiple fights like that. It's very like vague what I'm saying, but like the same, I feel like that kind of build has given him historically problems. And for someone as big as he is, he doesn't really utilize his range like as effectively as he can. And his finishing isn't that great. And
Yeah, your audio is cooked.
yeah.
It sounds shitty sometimes. If you're using like a snowball mic or something, that's probably it. If you changed anything up from normal. But yeah, anybody got anything else to add in this fight, or we need to move on?
Nothing really. I think Musayev is a dirty cheat, and unfortunately, Bahamondes is probably not going to be the same. He's not going to look the same as we thought he would. He would be back in the days, back when he was head kick KOing motherfuckers and having entertaining. I mean, despite him losing, it was an entertaining fight, but it was very frustrating to watch, especially as a Bahamondes fan, when there's blatant like headbutts, dudes doing anything to win. It's just frustrating to watch. But other than that, I'm ready to move on. Moving on, we got the main card opener, Terrence McKinney, using freaking Kyle Nelson as his personal blow-up doll in his hometown of Washington. Yeah. Terrence McKinney got a first-round finish. I mean, we all saw it. Well, Tony picked Kyle Nelson for some reason, but, you know, it's you know, it's not a, you know, compared to his certain controversial picks, you know, the Cody Garbrandt and like it's not like it's not like it's contending, but it's not up there. Like that one was horrible, but
that was a reach.
this one worse than it was.
This one is like this one wasn't a bad pick at all. It was just Terrence McKinney ain't going out in his home crowd, and he looked like the myth. Like me and Alex were talking about this. Alex will probably break it down. Like Terrence McKinney, if you look like, this is gonna sound like we're glazing the fuck out of Terrence McKinney, but Alex said it, and he said, and this is gonna look crazy because I'm supposed to be the Terrence McKinney glazer because he's been on the channel, he's this and that, I've interacted with him, yada yada. But Alex told me, he said if they were able to fight like in the streets to the death, Terrence McKinney is absolutely mauling Kyle Nelson in the streets. Like I agree with him, and there's just something about Kyle Nelson. It's probably the Canadianness in him that screams bitch. Like there's something about him, like that I can't. There's no trusting that like at all. He's soy as there is to come. Like, and I even said it in the fight. I said he just looks like the guy that voted for that Canadian prime minister. Yeah, he looks like a Trudeau guy. Like he just screamed
very.
Like he just looks like a Trudeau guy. Like soft, you know, soft, feminine. Like there's nothing about him that screams man. While Terrence McKinney is looking like he just finished watching his fucking UFC debut against Matt Frevola. Bro cut his dreads off. Bro put in his blue trunks that we haven't seen since that fight. Nobody talks about that. Bro was looking like the mythical fighter that we thought he would be in the future, but bro enabled the friggin' Matt Frevola fight cheat codes back. Like Terrence McKinney looked like Terrence McKinney, looked phenomenal. You know, we thought he said he was going to be more patient. To be honest with you, I think he just couldn't help it because every time he was landing on Kyle Nelson would just crawl up into a ball, Anthony Smith style, ready to quit. So he just couldn't help himself there. But honestly, I have nothing else to say about it. It was a great win from Terrence McKinney. It was nice that he got a win in his hometown. Shout out to him. And I don't know who they could give him in his next fight. Obviously, it's not going to be any like higher ups because he was coming off a loss against Chris Duncan. But I would like to honestly, whoever you put Terrence McKinney, I think we should keep him on like the win trajectory, even if it is against Cans, because win or lose for him, he's putting on dogfights. He should have gotten a performance bonus, by the way. I don't know why the UFC continues to hoe this man of a performance bonus. He has like 100% finish rate. He hasn't seen a third round at all in his career. Like, you'd think that style, that entertaining style, the killer be killed style would give a bonus, right? But no. Bro's just getting hoed on performance bonuses. But, honestly, there were some fights where I'm like, yeah, honestly, it's not really too much of a robbery. But what do y'all got to say about it?
Go ahead, Tony. I'll go last.
Yeah, I pretty much picked Kyle Nelson under the premise of I just wanted to test out. I wanted to test out like an equation in my head. I think that Kyle Nelson, in terms of male Canadian fighters to the upper echelon of the region, I think he's like a top 25 male Canadian fighter. I reckon Terrence McKinney is like somewhere between like 40. No, yeah, let me stop. 30 and like 30th and like 60 in America. Somewhere like that. Maybe even higher. Maybe like
I don't know about that.
25 to 30. Purely American like lightweights. Like I think Terrence McKinney is like mid. He is dynamic and he is like a notorious finisher. Like he can wrestle, he can submit you, he can knock you out. He's like an all-time first-round fighter. I feel like if you can withstand that, easier said than done, you most likely will beat it. Kyle Nelson simply just wasn't equipped to do that. So my logic was like, he's been knocked out before. He's been knocked out by like Steve Garcia, Diego Ferreira. These are not bad fighters. He's losing to decent competition. Terrence McKinney, he's also going against decent competition. Most of the guys he's losing to, I could see them beating Kyle Nelson in hard play. He's in Sajikov, he could beat him. Honestly, like, in my mind, he is very entertaining. If Terrence McKinney doesn't have the Ferris win, I don't know if he's still in the UFC. That's like his best win right now. It's crazy. That win is
damn.
He's very entertaining. He's not a bad fighter for what he is. He's gonna like go all out in the first round. He's dynamic. Kyle Nelson just couldn't withstand it straight up. So I was definitely wrong about that one. Terrence, he fought Chris Duncan. I fought Kyle Nelson. This is something like maybe like someone like a Bobby Green to it. Something like that. Like maybe a Grant Dawson. Yeah, maybe like a Grant Dawson. Something like that. That'd be fun. I like if you can knock out Grant Dawson, that'd be fun.
I think he'd kill Grant Dawson. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny if you could.
I think Michael Johnson would be interesting too. Two people that are they either really win or they really, really lose.
Yeah. That'd be cool
Like,
too.
yeah, McKinney's like an extreme Michael Johnson. Like he'll win or lose in drastic fashion, but it's gonna be in that first minute every time.
Yeah, he's killer. Yeah. He's all out.
Yeah, he's a killer. Killer be killed.
I think that's just what makes him, more or less must-see TV.
Right.
You got to watch a McKinney fight.
Yeah.
But
100%.
yeah, my whole point before this fight, as Mike got to, is since the beginning of time, the Terrence McKinneys have been killing the Kyle Nelsons. This is truth. The Kyle Nelsons. I mean, Kyle Nelson is an anomaly that even exists. That like his weak kind didn't get like outbred and out dominated by the stronger Terrence McKinneys and like the Chris Duncans and so on. Like Kyle Nelson is a soy man. It's because he's from Canada. That is the reason. Like, it isn't like just hand-to-hand combat. It's just MMA. If you put him in a wrestling match, I think McKinney molests him. I think he straight up puts his dick in his ass. Like, I got to tell you the truth.
Oh, Jesus
I
Christ.
think he could do vile things to him. If we're doing boxing, he's doing the same thing. He's sleeping him in 30 seconds. If we do a Mexican standoff and I give them both 6-shooters, turn their back, face, and shoot each other, McKinney's popping a cap in his ass. If they're having a duel with fucking swords, McKinney is ramming him through with that sword through the heart, and he's dying and bleeding to death in the courtyard with all the hoes watching. This is true. In any scenario you can possibly think of. You know, like, I'm not going to go there, but Terrence McKinney would, he would assassinate him. You know, if he was John Wilkes Booth and Kyle Nelson, we know what's happening. History's going to repeat itself. However, if McKinney's Lincoln and Nelson's John Wilkes Booth, he's turning that gun around, taking his trench knife out and cutting his fucking throat out, pulling his tongue out with a Colombian necktie and shitting on his corpse. Like, this is what happened. Times there were Neanderthals and there were homeless. McKinney, he's more of like this dominant force. Like, humans have a natural fear of something that they can't see. And when we see humanoid creatures, we get scared because at one point deep down ourselves know there was a more physically dominant force of human race, more or less. And they might not have been as smart and intellectual as us. McKinney makes a lot of dumb IQ moves in there. He gets finished half the time. But if you let him, he will run through a fucking wall. I mean, I would love to have these guys go into a gladiatorial combat scenario with swords. Kyle Nelson's arms are going to be cut off. Like, the Roman Emperor is going to hit him with and he's going to fucking die. Like I know this has nothing to do with the fight, but I mean, he died in 20 seconds. That would happen. Dude, if they were playing soccer, it'd be like 20-0. Actually, no, it'd probably be like 4-0 because Kyle Nelson would like have a broken leg in the middle of the field, and McKinney would be like in wind like after 4 minutes, but the game would be over because Kyle Nelson can't continue. It's if they got lost in like a snowstorm and they like had no food, McKinney is cannibalizing Kyle Nelson, not the other way. Like, if one of them has to kill and eat the other to survive, McKinney is killing and eating Kyle Nelson every single time.
I think we can move on now.
I would agree.
That's why GSP is my goat based on that logic.
Yes. Yeah, like GSP's the
him
one
to be able to accomplish everything that he accomplished with the genetics that he was presented. I think he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Anyways, next fight we got Mansour Abdul Malik taking on Belgary. Tony and I picked Abdul Malik because we actually we fell for the record, bro. We fell for the clickbait. Like, bro was 9-0. I thought bro would actually dominantly grapple. Even though he did grapple, I thought he would grapple more. I was expecting deep double legs. The fucking takedowns he was trying to shoot on him, they were like my grandma who's about to turn in her early 70s or something. She can defend those takedowns. She's getting older tomorrow. I would pick her to defend these takedowns. Mansour Abdul Malik is trash. I will never pick him again to win a fight. He is a bum. He is trash. I will never do it. But I don't want to cope about it. It was a great pick by Alex. He saw the clickbait. He said, "You know what? I'm not gonna fall for this Mr. Beast clickbait bullshit. I'm going to expose it, and I'm going to pick Belgary to just expose this. Y'all take it from here.
Yeah. I also picked Mansour Abdul Malik. I thought he was a specimen of an athlete, and I still do. I'll admit he got whooped in this fight. He got absolutely third round TKO, if I'm not mistaken. He got beat up. If he did make it to the final bell, it would have been a fucking that in itself would have been crazy. But despite getting third round TKO, I still think he can take punishment. He took a lot of shots from a high level kickboxer. So at the rate he was going, you reckon you could have got finished earlier. He got fucked up though, clearly in the striking. Belgary, obviously higher credentials, having fought in Glory Kickboxing, going toe to toe with the likes of Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya. Props to Sheriff Fitness. That gym seems to have really found a knack for understanding grappling and takedown, specifically takedown defense. Pereira and Belgari's takedown defense looks much improved, especially training with Grandpa Glover. I still I leave this fight thinking I still would consider picking Manchester Abdul going forward despite losing this fight. I just think Belgari is very talented and a very good fighter, high level kickboxer. It was a great pick by Alex. But like I said, Abdul Malik got tough fight, but not finished. But I still think he is a decent prospect in the fight. He's an athletic specimen, 6'2", 80-inch reach. He can wrestle. His shot selection wasn't great, but I still think both fighters are good at Belgari. Very talented. His style of kickboxing is very. His transition very nicely. Back-to-back good wins over Mekarev and now Abdul Malik against athletic, well-rounded middleweights. So Belgari's a guy to look out for. He's dare I say, the new kickboxer at 185. Now we'll get to that later, but yeah, he might be a new kickboxer going forward. Represents Tunisia. I think he was born in the Netherlands or something along those lines. So he's good. Moving up to Alex.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Either my best pick or my second best pick of the card. One of them. But this one was one I'm pretty proud of. I was actually very confident with this pick, which I cannot say about my other pick, which ended up working out for me. But this one I was very confident in. I liked what I saw against Asmat Bekayev. I think Asmat Bekayev is better than Mansour Abdul Malik and would beat him too. When I saw him against Bekayev, I was like, this is a different guy than I saw in the Contender Series. The way he's defending takedowns, the composure, the shot selection, it's very Pereira-esque. And one of the rounds, I think at the end of the first round, after I thought that, I see him sitting down in the corner with fucking Glover, and I'm like, I don't know why I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Obviously, it makes sense. And ever since I knew that, I'm like, yeah, I really trust the Glover school of teaching kickboxers how to transition to MMA. We saw it go phenomenally for Alex Pereira. And I think Yusri Belgari, who's, has very high level experience fighting the likes of Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira, even getting a win over Alex Pereira. And he's only lost in kickboxing to 3 guys. 2 of them are one of them is Israel Adesanya, the other is Alex Pereira, and another guy is Donovan Weiss, who's a young, great Surinamese kickboxer that's active in Glory right now, who's doing great on a long win streak. So all of his kickboxing losses are respectable too. Always been close to the title, got plenty of title shots. He might have even been the champion at one point. I'm not super familiar with Glory, but his range management is great. When you have a guy like that's 6'6", 80-inch reach, I did see holes in Mansour Abdul Malik's game. Him scrapping with Cody Brundage and making that a very close fight was immediately like, okay, if he ever fights somebody who can strike, he's going to get fucking blicked, especially if they can defend his takedowns. And, I never really saw him as super impressive on the ground either. I saw him as raw talent, athletic more than anything. But, athleticism isn't always enough to get by in the UFC. Sometimes you got to be a natural-born killer. And Mansour Abdul Malik, he's certainly tough, but he lacked the ability anywhere to really dominate Belgari. He definitely couldn't outstrike him. And, we thought, he'd out-grapple him. But his grappling really wasn't on the level to take advantage of that the same way other people might have. He was in positions and he had a good position to take the back and he fell off the top showing, inexperience. Where I don't have to tell you about even somebody whose ass as Paul Craig would even do in that, position. They'd take the back and take it fucking home. I like Belgari, great range management, huge guy. Shot selection's great. We were calling for him to get a finish in the 3rd round, me and Mike, after Mike had become dejected with Abdul Malik, shall we say. And he got it done. The knees were nasty. The timing on all of his shots were nasty. He felt untouchable in there. To every single level, he went double digits, whereas he was able to mitigate Mansour Abdul Malik to single digits. I want to say it was something like 2 shots to the head. Like, he really could not touch Belgari in there. And I'm excited to see what Belgrade has next. I think people are really putting respect on his name. I know Tony mentioned an Adesanya matchup. I've seen a lot of other MMA pages talking about an Adesanya matchup. And I think that, does make a lot of sense. Belgrade is older. He can be jumped into a position like that. They got history. Adesanya is actually 2-0 up on him in kickboxing. He doesn't have a win over Adesanya. So, that makes sense. So, yeah, why not? That's a great kickboxing fight. But at the same time, I know what Tony's saying. Like, looking at the way he's looking versus the way Adesanya's looking, I don't mind a take that he's the best or one of the best, at least better than Izzy at kickboxing right now, currently. Certainly closer to his prime. So, yeah, regardless, I'm excited to see what comes from him. Ansar Abdul Malik, he needs to be Ateba Gautier levels of treatment, fight complete bums, because he doesn't really have an X factor. His X factor is being slightly good everywhere. He doesn't have a nuke like, people tried to sell him as. He's just an athletic guy that probably could have made it professional in any sport if he tried hard enough. But it's just a matter of, you probably could do that. You could probably become pro in baseball, but you're not going to become, Hank Aaron. You're not going to become Babe Ruth. And in this case, you can become a pro MMA fighter and make it to the UFC, but you're not going to be John Jones or Anderson Silva or, even a Sean Strickland or Jamal Hill, I think. I don't think you're going to touch them. So, yeah, Belgrade, like him. Good job. Moving on to our next fight. I believe it was Julian Erosa. Yep. Julian Erosa. Who wants to go first?
Honestly, there isn't really else to go by. Man, I'm getting tired. It's been a long night, but it was a great performance by Douglas. He looked phenomenal. I like everything. I love everything about this kid. I think he's phenomenal. His hands look good. He's got the personality that's really good. Bro is gunslinging. Honestly, his whole little cowboy gimmick, it was kind of giving me it was giving me motivation to play Red Dead Redemption. I'll tell you that right now. I was about to play Red Dead Redemption right after that fight, but he had a great performance. I could definitely see a future in his I could see a future contender in the making. Let's see how but we'll see how he does. Time will tell, right?
Indeed. Debut. Got rid of Juicy J pretty fucking quick. That was impressive. He came from LFA, Larry and Douglas. That's his knockout win, I think, over the guy that just knocked out Douglas and Silva Damn God. Reyes.
Yeah, Javier Reyes.
Yeah. Douglas fucking knocked him out, Larian. So, and that guy's durable as fuck. So that's really impressive. I like that he joined with Cub Swanson. I had a second round knockout. He got it in the first. Impressed me. Juicy J is hittable. His chin is weird. Sometimes it shuts off like a different note. Sometimes he has a fucking arguably tough fight with Malcolm Costa. But Larian just fucking found the button. His hands are quick. He throws heat. I like that. I like his friend with Cub Swanson. Great debut. My takeaway, I think Cub Swanson is going to knock out Nate Landwehr the fuck out. If he's got him and his debut like that, I think he'll be locked into his retirement.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think Cub Swanson fucks up Nate Landwehr as well. I think the nickname Gunslinger is extremely accurate when it comes to Larry and Douglas. He fought like a true gunslinger. He went in there and just threw. And Erosa, props to him, threw back. That was a phenomenal fight for as long as it lasted. Both guys went for it and threw major combos and hands and power shots at each other. So respect to both of them. But Larry and Douglas was just, the precision was different, the timing was different, and the power was different. He hurt him with like fucking 7 significant jabs in a row. Just bam, set him on his ass. He got up, bam, hurt him. Bam, set him on his ass again. He got up, bam, set him on his ass again. It was like, see the jab, Julian Erosa. Like, come on now, brother. Like, it's going to come again, and you're going to get hit by it again and again. And it was funny because it just kept like really hurting him badly. And it's just a jab. So I think like Larry Douglas really does have some real power in his hands. I don't know how old he is. I want to say he's not super young. He's 30. To me, that kind of disqualifies you from title contention right away, but that doesn't mean I don't think we're going to be able to get good fights out of him. I think we're going to be able to get phenomenal fights out of him for what I was able to see today. I mean, he is going to be a great fighter to watch in the future. Maybe not as a champion or as a contender, but out of sheer excitement, fuck yeah. Larry Douglas was a great signing. Honestly, I would love to see a Javier Reyes, Larry Douglas rematch in the UFC. I think that's a scrap. Like, those are the type of fights we need to make. Both of these unranked guys, nobody's going to really know them outside of us and, some other people who are in the know. But that's a fucking scrap. That was a true scrap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Reyes is wild, and Douglas is a gunslinger. That's a fucking scrap.
Yeah, and I'd probably pick Douglas. If Deandrade can drop you in his old age and have a moment, I think Larry Douglas is just finishing potential. He looked like a fucking shark that smelled blood. Like, he was on Narosa's ass. And Narosa's last fight was a pretty competitive unanimous decision against Melchizedek Costa, who's on a hell of a run right now. So I don't think Julian Narosa's bad. It's just like you said with the chin. Sometimes he can just eat the kitchen sink, and sometimes a feather knocks him out. It's a weird chin. But, Juicy J does not get it done. Gets chinned in the first round. Shout out Larry Douglas.
Great debut.
Moving on to our feature fight, a double retirement. So I heard. Nico Price and Michael Chiesa retire after Michael Chiesa molests him in a round. Who wants to take this one first?
Man, it is going to hurt me so badly that we're not going to see Michael Chiesa crotch sniff somebody to 15 minutes. Or possibly sub them. Like, it's going to be so depressing. Like, I know I sound tired as hell, but it's just utter depression in my voice that we're not going to see Michael Chiesa fight, man. It's painful. It hurts my heart, man. It hurts my heart. I damn near want to cry. Like, I want y'all to take it from here. I'm going to get emotional talking about it, man.
Yeah, I'm just going to make it brief. Congratulations to Michael Chiesa getting the first round submission over Nico Price. Glad nobody really sustained any real significant damage in this fight. Both of you can walk away. Thank you for your service. Thank you for fighting in the sport. Thanks. Have a good one.
Yeah, I mean, we got the UFC promo package for our boy. Typical fashion, raped Nico Price, as is expected with Nico Price. And, that's really it. Feature fight was mediocre.
Mediocre. All right. I think that's... No, we got... What's next?
Co-main event of the evening. Wow. This is our second female rematch of the card. This was Alexa Grasso, Macy Barber, too. I want to say Mike and me both picked. No,
you picked Macy.
Me and Alex both picked Macy.
Don't take my credit, motherfucker.
He did. He had a firm stance on Grasso. I picked Macy Barber because I thought the first time they fought, she was pretty inexperienced. She was like 22 years old. She was really young. Grasso was like 27. Granted, Grasso is accomplished more in the sport, former champ. She went at a trilogy with Shevchenko. You learn a lot in that series. Then she lost to Natalia Silva, who is a surging contender in her own right. But Macy Barber, in hindsight, there were some red flags. Nothing even to do with the technique, just in terms of health. Like, she had a seizure, to the Aaron Blanchfield fight in the event, and that was super unfortunate. But then she was able to bounce back with a win over Karine Silva. And I felt like she answered those questions and durability in that fight. But in this fight, man, this was crazy. They were immediately like, it was very much known they were going to scrap. And they were like feeling out the range. Barber was getting overconfident and she stepped a little too close, and Grasso caught her clean on the fucking chin. And as she's like falling down, before her ass hits the canvas, Grasso's already in on like a fucking back tape with her arm lashed around her neck. And before you know it, the fight's over. It was vicious finish from Alexa Grasso. That is how she. It's like it's not a fluke that she got Shevchenko with that back take. That shit, the speed of that is ridiculous. And it is absurd how quickly she was able to just take it back like that. Props to Alexa Grasso. I really feel sad for Macy Barber because she looked lifeless looking at the TV. Cameraman, it was sad. But again, props to Grasso. She's among the elite at the college. Defended her rankings she did. And goes 2-0 in her career against Macy Barber. I want to see a fight like maybe like a man on Bureau that is a fight. Test like French kickboxing, Mexican boxing. I think I'll make it a very high competitive striking match. Yeah, like that'd be probably the match that I would enjoy. Good performance for Grasso. I hope all the best for Macy. I hope she's all right.
Yeah. Well, I didn't call her to fucking murder, damn near murder Kate Macy Barber like that. Like that was crazy. And bro, I picked Grasso to win. As if y'all watched the prediction video, I had her winning by a women's MMA signature. Hey, Synchron, bro. I'm coming for that. I'm coming for that women's MMA GOAT status, my boy. I'm coming for it. I called it. I said it like women's rematches. The woman that wins the first fight end up winning the rematch, and that's what happened here. It added up to the percentage here. Shout out to ChatGPT for giving me that percentage too. I shit you not. I asked ChatGPT, what is a woman? Which does a woman? What about the women's MMA stuff? Sorry, I'm stuttering a lot. I'm hella tired. But I asked ChatGPT who would normally win the rematches, the woman that has improved coming in to fight the woman that beat her or the woman that beat her, and they said statistically the woman that beats them the first time will normally win the rematch, and that's what happened. But I didn't expect her to do all that to Grasso. I mean to Barber. Like how Grasso fights I really do like, because she has that boxing style. Like she has a mean boxing style. She threw a lot more than she did in the Natalia Silva fight, but I think that's just Natalia Silva being very like smart in her like movements. Like she moves a lot in her fights. And that's what you can't do. You can't allow her to like move around as much as she does and start picking people apart with her kicking and her striking in general. Like you can't let her get her rhythm up, and that's what Grasso did. But Grasso made a lot of improvements. I expected it to be like the first Macy Barber fight, to be honest with you, where she makes Macy Barber miss and counter the fuck out of her. She did counter her a lot. That's what led her to knocking her out, but I didn't expect her to knock her out and sub her. But it wasn't a sub, it was a knockout. But shout out Grasso. I feel bad for Macy as well, mainly because she is young, and to get put on a t-shirt like that, like that's like honestly, bro, I thought she died, bro. Like if you seen the video, if you seen the fight, she went down, and as soon as she got the by the way, Grasso's back takes are so good. They're phenomenal. Like that's probably one of the best back takes I've seen. She not only dropped her, but already got her back and got her in the rear naked. That is impressive. Shout out to Grasso on that one. But once she did that, like you could see Macy Barber literally like out cold. Like she looks like she damn near looked dead. Like it looked scary, man. I pray. I hope she heals up, and hopefully she'll do better from this. Like that was a scary like outcome. Like it was crazy.
Yeah, it was not what I expected. That's for sure. I picked Barber. I could see Grasso winning, but I figured it was more going to be 3 rounds of outboxing, kind of similar to what she did against Viviane Araújo, just a better skilled boxer, no real finishing threat in any of her punches. But boy, was I fucking wrong. Smokes Macy Barber out cold. And like Tony said, like she had a Hamzat level of speed to that back take. Like damn near before her ass even hit the floor, she was on the back. That was very impressive. Like she got knocked out and subbed in the matter of like a second. I mean, that was a pretty bad knockout, too. Like, Macy Barber was fucked up. I got a feel for her coming after her seizure. I honestly didn't think she looked that great against Karine Silva. She did win, but I didn't think it was super impressive. I want to say Karine Silva got around. Wasn't super impressive to me. But I thought her hands looked fast. I thought her boxing looked good, all things considered. I just think Grasso is much better. When it comes to her gym, she really might have the best boxing in that gym, even better than Diego Lopez. Grasso looked really like that. People forget, man, she was out striking Shevchenko in the fights on the feet. Like she dropped Shevchenko with an overhand, especially in the second fight. It was Shevchenko winning with the grappling and Grasso with the striking that made it a draw. We know how the first fight went. It was pretty much neck and neck on the feet, and then Grasso got the back and choked her. In the third round, Shevchenko made the reads and just grappled the whole time, which I think is, unless you're Natalia Silva, the way you're probably supposed to beat Grasso, just be a better wrestler and out-grapple her. That being said, I think something like Grasso versus Fiorot would be great. Both girls had close fights with Shevchenko. Both girls are strikers. Boxer versus kickboxer, I think that's the fight to make next. Grasso looked really good. Unfortunately for her, she does have such a history with Shevchenko. I don't think they're going to favor her to get a title shot anytime soon, not without, a couple more wins. They're definitely going to go for Natalia over her. So she just needs to stay active. Honestly, I could see like Grasso versus Fiorot being like a 5-round co-main event in France or something like that come September when we have Paris. I could see like a Durikis Imavov 5-round main event, co-main event 5 rounds, Fiorot Grasso. I think that'd be a pretty good France card. But yeah, I think she looked great, better than I expected, better than anyone I expected. Even Mikey said, and he picked her. So shout out to Grasso. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add other than that. Great knockout.
Argument that she's a legit case you can make that Alexa Grasso, pure boxing, may be the best female fighter in the UFC.
Yeah, boxing, yeah.
Pure hands, bantamweight, no one comes to mind. Norma Dumont has a good jab, but Alexa's got more combos. Strawweight, it's kind of hard to think of one right now, but yeah, flyweight, yeah, pure hands. Alexa Grasso might have the best pure boxing in women's MMA.
I don't mind it. Well, moving on to our main event of the evening. Who wants to take it away first?
Israel. Oh yeah, Tony can.
Yeah, I'm not going to be too much on it. I picked Israel Adesanya by a 5th-round TKO. I felt like, he would use his veteran experience, having fought 5-round fights more, proactively than Joe Pyfer did. And I just felt like in terms of competition, like this was a steep decline for Adesanya in terms of who he was facing from opposite from him in the cage. You look at his losses in his career, my thought process was like, okay, Jan Blachowicz, Alex Pereira, DDP, Sean Strickland, Imavov, I think are all technically better strikers than Joe Pyfer, but not only are they better strikers than Joe Pyfer, I feel like in their own right are like really good strikers. Jan Blachowicz has credentials in Muay Thai outside of MMA. Alex Pereira obviously has credentials in kickboxing outside of MMA. Nasruddin Imavov for 185 is like considered a very high level striker. DDP, he has like a K1 like championship, like he can kickbox. Sean Strickland, pure boxing, might be the best like pure boxer at 185. Like these are legit strikers. Joe Pyfer, I thought he was going to kind of just be a physically imposing fighter, just big, strong, powerful, and eventually like Israel could kind of outweigh him and just like survive the first 2 rounds and then pick up the pace. But now, man, shout out to Joe Pyfer. He's not just a dumb brute. He actually showed some technique tonight. He showed some accuracy. He showed an ability to deliver his power. Good mixing with the grappling. I like that he like did a level change. I like that he didn't just fight one-dimensional. Adesanya was landing too. It was a very competitive fight. It just Adesanya's defensive tendencies have always been there. It's just he's relied on his athleticism and his speed to get him out of those situations. And as the older he's gotten, it's been less available for him to be able to do that. That luxury is no longer sustainable. And I think, great win for Joe Pyfer, but at the same time, it tells us, Izzy's not just on a decline. Like, he's now losing to unranked people. So, don't know really where to go from here. If you're Izzy, it really depends on the matchup. I don't know. I think it's fair. It's hunting season. Like, anybody can, in theory, beat him. I hate to say it, but that's just you could be on the top of the game, and next thing you know, you kind of got figured out. That's the game. That's the sport. I still think he's a very high-level kickboxer and this and that, but yeah, the older you get, his style relied on athleticism, speed, technique, accuracy. That ages very quickly. Power is the last thing to go. That's why Alex Pereira, at the age he is able to be so sustainable. He's kind of got the technique, got the power, got the ability to deliver the shots. It's crazy how Israel became the one guy that's talking about his one win at the bar. Yeah. So, but nonetheless, great career, great job. But I do fear he may go on an Anderson Silva-like spiral. So, best of luck, and we'll see what's next.
Yeah, there ain't really much to talk about that fight, to be honest with you. There was moments where Izzy looked good, and by the way, Joe Pyfer's shin needs to be talked about. It was very impressive because there was a flashy knee that Izzy landed, and I thought, like, damn, Izzy probably hurt him, and no, Joe was still marching forward, hawking him down, and trying to go for bro. Like, bro's a G. I like Joe Pyfer's style, and I'm kind of glad that he's now in the UFC's. I wouldn't say he's a big star status, but I'd say, like, he's now going to be known by the casuals as the guy that beat Adesanya, and normally those type of guys get some type of like people with somewhat, like, people with a casual mindset will probably tune in because he is the guy that finished Adesanya and stuff like that, and people see Adesanya as a big name and stuff. And honestly, this is coming from a guy that hates Izzy. I think I even said in the prediction video, I always made a quote saying horrible days can turn into good days when Izzy gets finished, but this damn near felt sad, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not even an Izzy fan. I hate Izzy, but this damn near felt sad, man. Like, he can't even win arguably a better fight for him, if you know what I mean. But
yeah, all things considered, this is like the earliest he's been knocked out on the feet, like, at least in MMA for sure. Like, in the Imavov fight, you kind of felt like he won the first round. You didn't know who won the first round in the fight.
It was earlier, though. It was in the second.
No, I know. I'm saying, like, round one, like, after, like, going into round two in the Imavov fight, you felt like Izzy won. You got caught with the uppercut, but, like, you still felt like you won the round. In the end of round one of Pyfer and Izzy, you don't know who won that round.
I thought Izzy clearly won the first round.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that knee was he was landing good counter shots. That knee was the best strike all around.
Yeah.
Pyfer landed like a good left
hook.
Like
Pyfer, what I'm saying is I feel like Pyfer was more competitive in round one than Imavov was.
Fair enough. I guess I disagree. I feel like the first round against Imavov was closer with Adesanya winning, whereas the first round I feel like it was more or less clear. Pyfer landed, I feel like, one good shot. Everything else was kind of on the guard, whereas Adesanya was landing good counters. That knee was the best strike all around. I feel like the activity of Adesanya, the low kicks, they seemed like they affected Pyfer in the first round as well. Yeah. I'll be honest, I shit my britches a little bit in the early rounds, despite me picking Pyfer. I was like, come on, man. Come on. Anybody else can get better.
Yeah, I wanted Izzy to win mainly because I had him picked. I thought he would win, and I wouldn't have been mad if he just went back to his old ways where he was just leg kicking and point fighting to a decision. But bro just decided.
It's fucking insane. Like, in his prime, like, he's fucking circling and, like, being boring. And now the older he gets, he wants to have firefights. What the fuck are you like? What is that? That's
of his
he
speed.
was like willing to like be in the pocket with Pyfer. That was insane to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
And to
get
be
that.
honest, and I think what also lost Izzy the fight is like I didn't realize how big Joe Pyfer is compared to Izzy. And I told Tony and Alex this. Either somebody's got to be lying about their heights. Either Joe Pyfer is not as like around that height frame that they say he is, or Israel Adesanya is not really 6'4". Because
I think he's like 6'3".
I think he's 6'3" or 6'2". Well, I think he's 6'3". I don't think he's 6'2". If he was 6'2", like the gap would be bigger. Pause. But he like this was out of the Pereira fights and the Jan Blachowicz fights. This was the biggest opponent that Izzy probably has gotten a fight against. Like I think this was the biggest opponent. Well, no.
Oh yeah, since he's been a champ, like he's like undefeated against guys like shorter than 6'1", and like people that are 6'1" or above, he's like 1-5 against. Yeah, like he struggles with taller people because a large component of his reign, like he had a significant size advantage over most like middleweight contenders. His last win I know was like 3 years ago against Pereira, but like this is a guy who can like. If Alex doesn't knock him out in that 5th round in 2022 at 281, like Israel's the champ still, and like he would have just beat Alex Pereira. He went like 4.5 rounds avoiding that left hook, like doing a really good job defensively. I feel like he fucking wanted to get into a firefight tonight. Like I expected like tactical awareness, take away the right hand, circling, jab, low kick, fighting effectively on the back foot. I feel like he dead ass like wanted to go man for man with Pyfer. Like that was very bewildering to me. Yeah, like I said, like I'm just like it's kind of preposterous to me that during your reign, where we complained about the Yoel Romero fight, we complained about the second Whitaker fight. We complained about the Pretorius corner. We complained about the Kennedy corner. In that span where he's in his supposed prime, he's, for the most part, jabbing, leg kicking, so to speak, running away and guys in the casuals. But the older he gets, he wants to fucking brawl and sit down in the pocket. This doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah. I got to see what they give him next. I think you can make a case like for his opponent going forward. He doesn't fuck with it. I think you can make a good case because like he obviously I guess still wants to do it because like he's got enough money where he doesn't have to. But I mean, even still, like it's hard for me to believe whoever his opponent is isn't going to be as hungry as him. Like, regardless of the style, regardless of the rank of opponent, because now he's losing unranked people. I think Pyfer was 14 before this fight, but still, like that's wins unranked. This guy lost to Jack Ransom in a decision, and he just knocked out. He's still fucking out of time. That's MMA. I just understand how you can make strides and improvements back record.
Mike, do you want to go? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I said my piece. Wait, did you say yours?
No, not yet.
No, I already said mine. You can.
Okay. But yeah, I was the only person here to pick Pyfer. This is out of my 2 good predictions. This was the one I was most sketchy about. I scored the first 2 rounds for Adesanya. It did get into the 3rd, right? It was a finish in the 3rd. I feel like Pyfer started to have success in the clinch with the dirty boxing, and he hit a couple shots with Adesanya that hurt him. And after I feel like he kind of seen that, he's like, okay, you know what? Adesanya's backing up right now. He's not good with his hands, really. Like deficiently for striking wise, the boxing has always been the worst part of Adesanya's striking game. And he was able to clip him with good shots and open up the takedown, took him down, ground and pounded him. It looked like he broke his nose. He really was making like a face on the ground when Pyfer had his back. But he transitioned well. There was moments where it looked like Adesanya was going to escape, but position over submission. Pyfer made the right decisions, gave up the back take, switched to mount, held down Adesanya. So I thought I saw intelligent grappling from Pyfer. I felt he fought tactically on the feet. Despite him being the worst striker, I feel like he made the absolute most with his striking. He didn't look like Dricus, but similar to Dricus, he might not be a better striker than Adesanya, but he's going to put together a game plan where he's going to be just as effective damn near, especially against an older Adesanya who I think the reason we see him having these barn burners and these slugfests and standing toe-to-toe with Pyfer is because he just doesn't have the speed that he once did. He's been kicking with those legs for decades at this point. And, I'm not to say he's Kamaru Usman yet with the knees, but, I mean, he's clearly not moving the same. He looks to be a heavier guy than he was when he first came on. You look at Prime Izzy, he's a pretty skinny guy, whereas, current Izzy's pretty built. He's pretty jacked. He's got a lot of muscles. And I think, he might no longer be fast at middleweight, but I think if he went up to light heavyweight, he could be fast still. And, he could follow this whole trend of middleweights moving to light heavyweight, two of which, Costa and Whitaker, he already beat. So, I feel like there's winnable matchups up there. The winner of Walker Reyes, I think, is a winnable matchup for Adesanya. I think, in a way, this just opens up Adesanya to have more super fights. And forget about the belt, forget about the contendership. That's long gone. Adesanya's days as the contender are done. But we can start to match up fights that are fun. We can look for more or less stupid matchups that maybe a couple of years ago didn't make sense, but make sense now, like a Shara Bullet Adesanya. Fuck it, a Wonder Boy Adesanya, Like, just make some shit happen. If he wants to go up to light heavyweight, we can find some good fights for him there, too. I don't think Adesanya – I do think he's washed, but I do think he can still win fights in the UFC if they were to match him up correctly. If I was Adesanya, I would do the light heavyweight move and just, maybe pick and choose my fights at middleweight if I want to stay there, like a Kopylov, Michel Pereira, those type of fights. And if that's not the case, I would look for one more fight with a can who's got a big enough name to put me in a main event or somewhere on a main card. I'm going to knock him out and I'm going to retire. I'm going to finish my anime arc, go out on win in front of a big crowd. They'll cheer for me, knock him out, and retire into the sunset off of a big knockout win. I think if like that's another really good path for Adesanya to take after this. Joe Pyfer is not a better fighter than Adesanya was in his prime. The grappling, the size, I do think that would have always posed a problem for Adesanya, but Adesanya was just simply faster and better back in his prime. For whatever reason, he was skinnier. I feel like he took less damage. I think Pyfer is, a big guy with power, good wrestling, who's going to impose himself. And these are things that Adesanya all has problems with. A prime Adesanya might have been able to use his speed and his footwork to, set traps better, not sit in the pocket with Joe Pyfer, sit back and leg kick like he did in his prime. But that wasn't the Adesanya we're getting. We're getting one that fought Dricus, somebody that kind of wants to sit in the pocket and bang, which has been his downfall. Everybody that's beaten him recently has beaten him with ease. The hands. That's the biggest deficiency of his game. Dricus hurts him, then subs him. What did he hurt him with? His hands. Strickland outboxes him for 5 rounds. Imavov uppercut hurts him. Right overhand knocks him out with the hands. And then we got Pyfer hurting him with the hands, going to the ground and pound. That's been a big problem with him. I think, if Adesanya were to fight MVP, he would beat MVP because MVP is so distance heavy. He's a big long-range guy. Adesanya can play that game. Like a Wonder Boy, somebody who's really relying on kicks, despite Wonder Boy being a real welterweight. I think Adesanya would take all these fights. It's the hands. Even going back to the Gastelum fight, this little fucking midget should have never been able to touch Adesanya, but he had some good hands and he had fast hands too. So that was enough. He didn't even wrestle really.
And the Whitaker rematch, purely hands. He got outstruck, purely hands.
Yeah, Whitaker outboxed him.
If you counted pure hand strikes, no kicks involved, but easier said than done. But yeah, I think it's always been a problem there.
Like Jan Blachowicz outkicked him, you could argue as well. I know we're talking about hands, but Blachowicz, had great striking moments in that fight as well. As good of a striker as I think Adesanya is, it's been proven time and time again. He's not untouchable. You can be down 4 rounds and catch him in the 5th when you're gashed, like Pereira showed us. You could be a mediocre fighter and chin him and get him to your position, like Pyfer showed us. You can lose the first fight and pretty much outbox him in the second after getting murdered in the first, like Whitaker. Adesanya is not this immortal guy. You know, Marvin Vettori fucking had his back and almost had an in-rear naked choke. You know, Adesanya is a great fighter. He's got a great legacy. If he's not the greatest middleweight of all time, he's the second greatest middleweight of all time. But his time has came and gone, and he needs to look for fights that are going to be fun, going to be good things to put on pay-per-views. Become a money fight. You know, put yourself into these situations where you can simply just make a name out of yourself. No one needs for you to go for a belt. Just make fun fights that'll strike, and people will watch an Adesanya fight still. Same way they're, you know, going to watch a McGregor fight, although McGregor's a bigger star. You know, McGregor could be fighting who's who. It doesn't really matter. It's McGregor. You know, and you know the UFC will match him up appropriately too. So I think they got to just take that approach with Adesanya. No longer a champion, no longer a contender. Just give him fights that are going to be dope. That's it.
Yeah. Above all else, a major contribution of his career, regardless of where he goes from this point. Without him, we wouldn't have Alex Pereira and we wouldn't have Yusri Belgari.
That's true.
For that, we thank him.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
He was good for kickboxers. Kickboxing has always been a good base in MMA, but he really like skyrocketed it.
Yeah, well, he was a kickboxer style. Like he wasn't like a crazy wushu, sanda, capoeira mixed like Anderson Silva was. Like he's pure kickboxing, you know. And
he was that bridge from Khabib Conor like in 2018, like when Conor like then took that hiatus, like 2018 onward, like he was that like staple to hold the UFC down. He was.
Yeah, well, one of the few nowadays too. And now that he's on the out the door, you know, we're running out of champs. You know, if O'Malley loses his next title fight, if it's Jan, he's more or less, you know, going to be on a downslide too. He's like 32. He's going to be in his mid-30s soon. So we're not going to get too much stars. You know, Connor's on his last two fights. Masvidal might come back for one more and then go back to retirement. Like they're all even. You know, even the guys you wouldn't call superstars, but are more like legacy champs, like a guy like Volk, who isn't going to have the casual fan base tuning in for him, but has been a legend for so long that people know about. He's going to go soon too. Usman gone, Gaethje gone. Like all these people, Oliveira, Holloway, all these guys are going to be going soon, which is a real shame. Like we're going to have a lot of people we look at as prospects main eventing in like a couple years. And we're seeing that overhaul in like some weight classes like middleweight, where like all of a sudden we just got the whole bottom end of the rankings. You know, Christian Leroy Duncan, Gregory Rodriguez, Bruno Ferreira, and all these guys that are up and comers. You know, Pyfer, and out with the old, in with the new. That's what we're seeing.
Yeah. Yes, we are seeing a new era. That's facts.
Anyways, I think that'll do for our recap. I think this was a good little live. No fight companion today because we were a little late, but we're definitely going to do a fight companion on we'll do it on the Miami card. We'll do it on that. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it next week for that one because I got something to do. But I'm still going to watch the card and all that. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, tune into our next video. Anything could happen in the next video. It will definitely be a prediction video coming up soon. We might do a Giannis fucking victory video. Who knows? We'll see. But we'll keep this this other than prediction shit going. I like this stuff. So hopefully we keep this up and hope y'all like the shit out of it. Anyways, do y'all have any final messages before we wrap this up?
Really good card. Good to see you.
Yeah, really good performances. Good
card overall, a lot of finishes.
Yeah, it was a pretty good card, regardless. But yeah, I think that'll conclude our thing. Like I said, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and we are out.